Welcome to Jimi Zen Reads, Jasper and the Laughing Fox. There are many types and breeds of doggies in this world. There are big dogs, huge dogs, clever dogs, scruffy dogs, muddy dogs, waggly-tailed dogs, sleepy dogs, excitable dogs, grumpy dogs, barky dogs, bald dogs, jail-tasting dogs, smelly dogs, daft dogs, hot dogs, and least of all, and not forgetting, the droolers and the slobber dogs. This tale is about the world's most chocolatey, smiliest and spotty of our four-legged friends, and this marvellous munchkin is called Jasper, a magnificent, loving, slobbering, strong, brave and happy Dalmatian hound, and he is my bestest and beastiest of friends. His eyes are big and brown and full of love. His bark, which he saves especially for either excitable snacks or the delivery dude, is deep and proud. He wears an old brown leather collar with a brown skull and crossbones tag around his neck, and he loves his walks in the woods. Well, as a once lumberjack's dog, he most certainly should do, but that's a story for another day. One day, Jasper was waking up from a wonderful night's sleep. His dreams had been of playing, treats and biscuits, and had been chasing after them all night long. When Jasper dreams, you can watch and hear him. He starts with a faint little snore as he drifts off, and before you know it, his strong spotted legs stretch out and his paws begin to move like he's walking on thin air. Before too long, they speed up and break into a run. So fast he runs in the comfort of his own bed, and his dreams taking him both everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. Sometimes he'll give a muffled bark in his dreams, or make a sound of sheer contentment, or a little fart. This morning he'd woken up happy, a stroke and a scratch behind his big floppy spot-dotted ears, and his breakfast all wolfed down. Jasper was definitely a happy boy. So, when I picked up his lead, a head suddenly appeared, peering from around the lounge door, hoping he hadn't misheard my intention. It was true. Time for a walk. Up the woods we headed, just behind our home, with the sound of the birds chattering about the weather and how early spring may well be. Birds do offer the best weather forecasts to those who will listen. The floor of the woods was becoming rich with snowdrops pouting and daffodils stretching their long green stems, looking for the warmth of the morning sun. Jasper in his own true form was sniffing around the woods for a while, deciding which clump of ferns should host his morning tinkle, which inevitably means most, and if not, all of them. As Jasper came back to my side to check I am in fact still where he left me, because, after all, I do sometimes hide from him and play hide and seek. We both stopped in our tracks as what looked like a small, red-furred dog sauntering past. It was only about 10 feet away and flicking its long grey bushy tail. "A fox!" I exclaimed, and Jasper looked bewildered, with his ears up and a tilted head and waggling tail. The fox stopped for a moment and made a sound like a high-pitched laugh. That, thought Jasper, is not a dog's bark. Jasper gave a friendly high-pitched greeting. "I know you. You play in my garden sometimes, with your mum, after dark." The fox gave Jasper another big belly laugh and ran in a circle, looking certainly daft. "Follow me," laughed the fox. "I know these woods well." "And I know," replied Jasper, "the best spots to sniff and smell." They both ran off somehow, now chasing each other. I smiled at the sight of this playful endeavour. Around and around they ran, between the trees, leaping over the fallen foliage, scrambling up the banks, and both shooting past me again for about the third time. How they don't tire still makes me wonder. For nearly half an hour, scattered playful laughs and barks echoed around the various parts of the wood until it started to rain. I know the birds had already warned me of the inclement weather to come. So I gave Jasper my very special whistle and watched him bound back to me after wetting a thistle. The fox laughed at Jasper in way of goodbye, and Jasper howled back to his friend of thanks and joy. "It's time to go home now," I beckoned the dog. "It's time for a nap. You'll sleep like a log." A happy and tired Jasper came home, greeted by his blanket and a nice, good, warm rub, and a treat by the fire as a morsel of grub. So nap time came around again, as it inevitably does, with Jasper all warm and curled up in his toasty snug on the sofa, and he drifted gently into his sweet lullaby. Jasper was pleased and happy and glad for this day. After all, it's not that often that you meet a laughing fox who was willing and ready to play. The end.